I welcome Professor Sanjay Goyal ji, the Vice Chancellor of our Anoopshahr University, along with all my teachers and students, the alumni, not really the alumni, those who have just appeared in class 12 examinations today during these days. So looking forward and waiting for their results. So my dear students, let me tell you that this very, very special session has been designed so that you get to know the kind of careers which are possible, what is the future in India, what is there abroad, how should you get into a very good profile building, and what will be the challenges which you might face. You might not be expecting them, but the challenges are there in the market today. So for all this, I'm thankful that VC sir has found some time to talk to us today. But before I hand over things to him, I would just like to introduce him very briefly to all of you. Sanjay Goyal ji is a forward-looking, innovative leader in higher education. He has a long experience of 37 years. And for having worked in the field of technology in NSUT, in IGNCA, and also at JIT. So his expertise is in computer and engineering education. Also, if I see the kind of contributions he has made as director of as head of department of JIT and director of JKLU as Dean Academics, his recognition and the diverse portfolio which he holds includes the doctoral programs, placements, faculty development, and the internal qualities assurance cell. He is also an expert in accreditation process. So his students have also gone up to the heights where they have worked in Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Intel. I think you name a company and it is very much there. So Yahoo, Cisco, Oracle, Goldman Sachs, Paytm, Deloitte, and many others. So these students have brought great laurels for him because they owe a lot of respect for him. So backed by a multidisciplinary educational and professional background, he also enjoys the interdisciplinary scholarship of integrating IT with a variety of contexts and human activities. He has authored over 30, see, that's a great number, more than 30 research papers, with many of them focusing on different aspects of computing and outcome-based education, for which he is mainly known for. His insightful perspectives have also reached a broader audience, with many articles published by media platforms like the Times of India, HT, Indian Express, India Today, Financial Express, The Hindu, Telegraph, Digital Learning Magazine, and Express Computer Magazine. So since 2010, he has maintained a blog on engineering and computing education. So my dear students, you can follow him on his blog also, featuring around 200 articles about various facets of higher education, including computing and engineering education, multidisciplinary education, outcome-based education, and the national education policy, NEP, and NIRF pedagogy, and more. The blog is very much available at www.goals.wordpress.com. I think this was most brief, which I could talk about you, but your expertise is very well known and acknowledged all throughout. I'm sure today's session will be very, very meaningful for our students. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anjali ji. Good morning to all. And let me start by extending my best wishes to the students who are very eagerly awaiting for the results. And I hope everybody comes out with fantastic results and you are able to reach out to your dream universities and colleges, and you are able to pursue your dream program as your chosen program for your higher studies. With this backdrop, I want to take you on a conversation about higher education for new generation careers. Because whatever program you choose, whichever university you choose, how relevant it is to the changing needs of the world, changing needs of the industry, and changing needs of the jobs and careers. That is very, very important. So today's talk, I have organized around these few questions. And I think these questions are very, very relevant to all of you at this point. Within a week or so, we all are expecting that you'll get your results. Some state boards have already got their results announced. You will also get it. And then you have, for the last several months, you have been thinking what to do after it, where to do, where to study. All those questions have been at the top of your mind, I know. So today's session will be kind of a little help in navigating your path through in this troubled water. A lot of confusion around, a lot of media propaganda, a lot of advertisements, a lot of advices, and hence a lot of confusion. Unclarity about your own goals, which is perfectly okay. 17, 18 years of age, Mahatma Gandhi didn't know that he wants to be the leader of the freedom fight. So 17, 18 of age, you can't be possibly knowing all your goals in life. You would have some plan, but that plan may undergo a change. So a lot of confusion. So we'll try to state some facts, some summary of some studies by some renowned agencies, and that may help you. Okay. So first is, before you plan your career, you must have some clearer idea how the world is changing, and the world is changing in many ways. But for today's discussion, because our focus is on higher education for new generation careers, we will rather focus on those aspects of the change in the world which relate to the jobs, which means we should also understand how the human population is undergoing a change, because all careers ultimately cater to the needs of the humans. Okay, what are the projections by some agencies for the next few decades? That would be your career life. How the industry is changing, what are the challenges the industry is facing, and how in those changes, the jobs themselves are changing. Many studies show that many jobs that exist today will cease to exist within few years, and many new jobs will appear in market which don't exist as of today. So what is basically changing in the job scenario? What kind of skills are getting more importance? What are companies valuing now for bright careers? And then another very, very important question: how to choose a university or a college? What are the parameters? Should you go by the crowd? That's a very common parameter youngsters choose, that I'll go to that place because the crowd is good there. Is that a good enough criteria? Should you look at some other parameters also? So what are the parameters you should look at as student of 12th, passing out students from the school, before finalizing your university or college? Okay. And then finally, a little bit of discussion, 2 slides of how our university can possibly help you to realize your dreams and prepare you for great corporate careers. So these are some of my social media footprints. I have a blog. Those of you who want to look at some of the articles, you can look at it. Madam has already told. And I also run a YouTube channel. I have put some videos there on various issues, and could look at that. And I am present on LinkedIn as well as Facebook. So those of you who have questions later can also approach to me through email or through my social media contacts. I would be happy to work with the student community as well as the teachers. So let's look at this. First question first. How is the world changing? Okay, let's look at core issue. That is, how is the world changing means how is the human population changing? How is the size of the human population changing? How is the profile, the distribution of the human population changing across the city and the urban area, across demographies, across different age groups? What is the basic feature of this change? So here are a few graphics that are self-explanatory. On the left side, on the top, you see this graph which is showing the growth of the human population in the last centuries. Okay, you see there is a bulge taking place in the last nearly last century. There is a bulge, there is a great increase in the human population. So we expect that by 200 by 2100, that is another 80 years, and I hope many of you would be alive then. Okay, just 75 years, another 75 years, and many of you would certainly be alive then. We would be around more than 10 billion. We are already around 8 billion. We would be around 10 billion. And that's where we are hoping that the human population will saturate if too many COVIDs or the siblings of COVID do not attack us, and we are able to manage those kind of attacks. So these are expectations. Okay, so we'll be a large, the population will continue to grow. It will continue to grow in certain parts of the world like Asia and Africa, the Europe and America and Australia and Japan. Population growth has been controlled, and it is actually in some the growth rate is negative. Okay, but what does that mean? That means we would need 80% more food. That's a basic requirement. Okay, Manoj Kumar created a very wonderful movie in 60s, Roti Kapda Aur Makan. Some of you may have watched it. It had beautiful songs. All the teachers must have watched this movie. And I would encourage the youngsters also to see. Addresses the three basic needs. Whatever technology, whatever times come, these three things remain important. A lot of business, a lot of industry is around food, about kapda, and about housing. The clothing, the food and housing are the core sectors of the industry, and a lot of industrial activity keeps on happening about creating these services and products for humans. So we would need 80% more food. We'll see what is happening to the agricultural land. How would we produce 80% more food? Because in a next slide or so, you would see that the agricultural land is almost static now. It is not growing. Even after a lot of forests have been converted into arable lands, the next slide will show that the agricultural land is more or less stopped increasing. And in some regions like in India, where a lot of rural land has been converted into urban land, the agricultural land is shrinking. Like in the region we are situated in, which is a very fertile land, but because of urbanization, a lot of land has been acquired for urbanization. And we would need 2 billion more houses. That's the human, and you can, these are roti and makan I have talked about, but you can see that what would be the similar kind of doubling or huge growth for clothing, for medicine, for education. So not only the population is increasing, their aspirations are increasing, extreme poverty has decreased, so more people need a better quality of life. All those would actually drive the industry to produce more products and services for the consumption. Right now, only a certain fraction of the human population is able to consume, and we expect that as it gets past, more and more percentage of the human population would be able to enjoy the goodies that we in our middle classes and upper middle classes enjoy. More and more people will be able to benefit from those kind of products and services. So this is a very, very important aspect. Very closely correlated aspect is this second graphic. The average life expectancy is increasing. Okay, and it is increasing very significantly. It is around 70 years as of now, and it will increase by 2050, when you would be at the prime of your career, in mid-40s or late 40s. You would be the leaders of your companies. You would be occupying very significantly senior positions at that time. The life expectancy would be 76. It is continuing to increase because of the good healthcare facilities, because of the good nourishment, because of several factors. The life expectancy has been increasing for the last several decades, and it will continue to do so. That also means that your careers would be longer than your grandparents. You would have heard in your families that the retirement age is of around 60, right? No more. No more. Because of the life expectancy is like 76, and this is an average. That means the well-to-do families that have access to good healthcare facilities and good food since childhood, the life expectancy there would be much more. going up to 90 years. And in some countries, it is certainly more than 76. In Japan, etc., it is much more than that. In US, it is more than that. We are talking of the world average. So in the economically well-to-do families, this life expectancy will be more, and people would not like to sit idle at home for 20, 30 years of their life. So that means you would need, people would be engaged into productive work for much longer than they have been in the past. Okay, people will continue to do some kind of work either from home or from office or whatever till the age of 70, 75, and in some cases, even now, some people are working even at the age of 75 or even more. I personally know many of such people. Okay. And this third graphics is also very, very important. The distribution of population, you see, by 2050, there will be more people. This is very, very significant. By 2050, you will see a situation where the percentage of children will be lesser than the percentage of the people above 60 years. This is a very, very important aspect. Right now, we are here, somewhere here, the age group up to 14 is or more than double the age group of 60 plus. When you are approaching 50s, this would be reversed. This situation will be reversed. And why? Because of this life expectancy increasing, birth rate decreasing, several factors are contributing to this. So this is a very, very important aspect. That means this would become a very significant consumer sector. People in this age group would have wealth, they would have needs, and they would have to be addressed because they are constituting a very good population segment of the society. Many new products would emerge in the market that will serve the needs of the 60 plus age group at that time. It's a very, very significant economic activity that is going to happen to serve the needs of the 60 plus very soon. Already it is happening in India also. Okay. And this is another very, very important and very correlated graphics. One is this increasing urbanization. You may have heard, India is a rural economy, mainly agricultural economy. All that is okay, but all that is changing. The world has already moved. Majority of the world population now lives in cities than in villages. In 2008, this change happened when more people started living in cities than in rural areas. And this gap is now increasing. Till 2008, the rural population was more than the city population. After 2008, this gap of city population being much more than the rural population is on increase. Now, city population means lot of needs. You need more energy in the cities per citizen. You need more transport. You need more facilities, more gadgets. A lot of industrial products would be consumed by the city people. Okay, and this is huge population. By 2050, when again I'm repeating, 2050 is very, very important because you would be close to 50 at that time. Okay, 80% of the human population at that time would be living in cities. So a lot of industrial opportunity, lot of business opportunity, because cities are big consumers of the industrial and the economic activity. And many super cities with more than 1 crore people. Right now, such cities are limited. Okay, but there will be many more such cities with more than 1 crore people. And another important graphic is this, that the GDP per capita, that is the income per capita, is going to continue to increase in this century. So people will have more money to spare and buy goods and services. That's good news for the industry. That's good news for the economics, and that's good news for the professionals who would be seeking to make good careers, because more people would have more money to spend on buying goods and services to improve their quality of life and improve their comfort and buy whatever they want to or they need to. But this is happening with this constraint. As I was telling, that the arable land, the land on which the crops can be grown, has almost become static. A lot of forests have been converted. That's why it has continued to grow. So while the rural areas were getting converted into cities, the forest areas were getting converted into arable land. But in spite of that, it is almost becoming static now. It is not growing. Okay. So same land, but the food needs are almost doubling. So that means you'll need new technology to produce more from the same land. And that technology would come from various sectors, not only agricultural technology. IT would have to contribute a lot, biotechnology will have to contribute a lot, and all this growth is taking place all over. And this graphic, second graphic, shows how the forest is decreasing and will continue to decrease. The forest land will continue to decrease. Now, the cost of decreasing forest land is huge, and it results into global warming. That is here. The temperatures are rising. That's the side effect of it. And that's a challenge which is coming of the increased economic activity, increased human population, increased GDP. All that is good quality of life, but the cost would be paid by the environment. The temperature is continuing to rise, and hence there are summits like Paris Summit, etc., where people have decided, countries have decided that they want to control this rise of temperature by adopting sustainable practice. The companies have decided to adopt sustainable practice. So what is called net zero economy, where the idea is that you don't produce carbon more than you consume. So whatever carbon you produce and you don't put it in the sky up there, you actually recycle it and put it in the cycle. You must have studied all these issues basically in your school, also in the environment science courses. Okay, so there are a couple of scenarios here. If the environment continues to be affected the way it is, and we see a 1.5 degrees Celsius rise in the temperature by 2030, nearly half of the population would be, exposed to flood, water stress, heat stress, etc. Even if it is not 2030, if it is 2050, even then 25% of the population would be exposed to all these challenges. But if this temperature rise is not just 1.5 degree, but 2 degrees Celsius, beyond the pre-industrialization activity of late 19th century, okay, then there'll be, instead of this being 25%, this will become 1/3 of the human population. So there'll be floods in various cities, coastal areas will be flooded, there will be drought in a lot of places. All that is a challenge, and hence there is an increased focus by all international agencies, by all banks, by all industrial houses, by countries on promoting ESG practices in the industry. Okay, and that is becoming very, very important, that you produce using sustainability practices, and companies are being alert to that. Energy, instead of using oil, you go to solar and the wind, etc., for meeting your energy needs. All that is taking place hugely, and that also means that there will be huge investments to shift from the fossil fuel to the sustainable fuel, to the solar, to the wind, to these kind of fuel. There will be huge investments, and investment means huge job opportunities, career opportunities for the professionals who can provide that kind of change from the fossil fuel to hydrogen, to solar, to wind, etc. Right now, India is doing well in that, but still a lot more needs to be done. We are on the right path, but a lot more needs to be done in order to really meet this challenge. Okay, so how is the industry changing in all this situation? When the world is changing, when the human population is increasing hugely, when the human population of the older people is also significantly increasing, working age of the people will be much beyond 60 years. It will go up to 70 years or so, or even more than that. Okay, when the demands of the old people for the goods and services would be huge. Okay, when the forest is shrinking, when the arable land is not increasing, the food would be required in much more quantity, the houses would be required in much more quantity, the gadgets, the clothes, everything would be required in much more quantity. All this is being met by because all this is to be served by the industry. So what is industry doing in order to serve this changing world? That is important to understand. So there are these basic changes. Few basic changes are these. We have entered in an era since 2014, what is called Industry 4.0. That's a slogan that was created at World Economic Forum. We are currently passing through Industry 4.0, the fourth revolution, You in your history books or in other courses, you have studied about first industrial revolution, second industrial revolution, third industrial revolution. We are undergoing currently fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by a lot of automation in the factories, AI, etc. So we are passing through few significant pillars of the change of the industry today. We have entered a zettabyte era. A zettabyte is 10 raised to power 21 bytes. You know, in 2012, the world had only 1 zettabyte of data, digitized data, only 1 zettabyte. You know, after nearly 70 plus years of digitization effort going on, the world collectively had around 1 zettabyte of data, 10 to the power 21. That's huge number. Okay. Now this by 2030 would be 572 zettabytes. That's the projection. And by 2050, it can be anywhere between 50,000 to 5 lakh zettabytes. And a lot of it would be real time, like video, audio, and real time data. Sensors put all over IoT. In real time, the data would be collected. Sorry. So that's the we are currently in the stone age in terms of data. The data that we currently have as a world is very, very small as compared to what the data is going to be in the next 25 years. The data explosion is taking place now. Within the next 25 years, you have much more data than you can imagine right now. Several zeros, so many zeros would be put in front of the total data that we have. So everybody would be generating data, every device would be generating data, infrastructure would be generating data, your bridges will be generating data, your factories would be generating data, hospitals are generating much more data. So everywhere, it's like the whole world would be immersed in the data generation process. Okay, and this be requiring processing using AI tools, machine learning, data science. Okay, so all that is becoming very, very important. Okay, and the fourth factor, which is very important because of the pollution, because of the rising temperature, global warming, etc., is net zero economy. All this industrialization has to be done more mindfully, without producing more carbon, without producing bad effects on the temperature or on the pollution. So do it in a sustainable manner so that the world remains livable for the humans and for the other members of the ecosystem. Okay, so here are certain projections, very, very important, that you, before deciding your career opportunities and your program that you want to study, are aware of what kind of projections are made by the industrialists, by the consultancy agencies, by various forecasting agencies, based on certain studies, scientifically done studies. What is the projection? Global biotechnology, and that's the very latest data, January 2014, global biotechnology market is going to increase 3 times within less than 10 years. Now within 8-9 years, the global biotechnology market will be 3 times than what it is currently. Robotics technology market would be like 5 times or so, 4 to 5 times as compared to the current situation. In terms of billions of dollars, currently it is something like $70 billion. It will be something like $300 billion within 8-9 years. Okay, AI is the big changer. You already are aware, but let's see the number. Annual economic potential of AI is 17 trillion to 25 trillion dollars. Trillion is a big number. Just to put it in context, India is aspiring to be a 5 trillion economy by 2030. Okay, so when India is aspiring to be a 5 trillion economy and AI has this potential to generate economic activity of 17 to 25 trillion dollars per year, that is a projection by McKinsey, which is a leading consulting company for the industry. Okay, and as well as the government. Out of this AI, generative AI alone is going to create economic activity of 2 to 4.5 trillion dollars per year. Okay, so these are very important aspects that you should know. Okay, zero transition is going to be requiring a lot of investment by the governments and by the industry, by the people. The global investment with reference to the physical assets of energy and land use for net zero transition will be like nearly $9 trillion per annum, which is almost double of the current India's annual economic size. Okay, more than double. Okay, smart factories which are manned by robots, automation, etc., would be producing goods of $3.7 trillion, which is 10 times the current size of the Indian economy. Okay, IoT market itself is like $2.5 trillion, which is slightly less than the total India's economy at this point, which is 2/3 of India's current economy. So that's the big picture of how industry is changing. Now, those who know this and can decide that we want to leverage this change by being educated in such a manner that we can lead the world towards this change rather than being adversely affected by these changes. You know, there will be two kinds of people. Your age group, or in every industrial revolution, there have been two kinds of people. Those who are leading the change, those who are bringing the industrial revolution, and those who are being negatively impacted by the revolution. You know, so it is better to be at the forefront of this change rather than being adversely affected by it. So knowing that this is changing, this is where the world is moving, the big industry houses are moving, and these are the projections. It is better that you plan your career accordingly. You plan your career in the areas which are growing rapidly in the next 25 years, 30 years, because that is where this is the time frame when you will be making your career. Okay, and you will getting more opportunities to make significant contributions. If you join an area where the growth is not so much, the opportunities become limited. Opportunities to make significant contributions become limited because the funding is limited and there are more people competing with each other. So the opportunities are limited. But if you join an area which is growing rapidly, you have abundance of opportunity. You don't have to be a super genius in order to make a good career if you have taken the right path, if you have joined the right sector. But if you have joined a very crowded sector, you have to be hugely talented in order to be hugely successful in that highly competitive sector. Okay, so this I thought would help you to take your decisions as to which sector to join and plan your studies in. Okay, and now how all this is changing the jobs, very, very important. Let's see. Broadly, there are certain major macro trends, like governments are becoming sensitive and the regulators are becoming sensitive and are telling industry to adapt environment and socially responsible practices, not produce too much of smoke, you know, become net zero, use good energy rather than bad energy, you know, do not spoil water, those kind of practices. Okay, so a lot of jobs are getting generated because of this frameworks being imposed by the governments. A lot of regulations are coming. Banks are giving easy loans for such initiatives to the industry. In fact, there is a class of companies which is called ESG companies, and now the mutual funds are also, you know, available where you can specifically invest only in those companies that are ESG, that are following ESG standards. So a lot of jobs are huge change in the jobs. This green, this blue thing is the positive thing, and this purple is the negative thing. So the positive changes in the new jobs are getting generated because of this. Okay, jobs are changing because of adoption of the new and frontier technologies like AI, robotics, etc. Huge change in the job is taking place because of that. Supply chains are becoming more localized now. PM also said be vocal for local, and he was just airing the views that are, he was just airing a global trend. Supply chains are becoming more localized now. Okay, and you see the digital access is generating huge amount of. So all these things where these blue bars are more than the purple bar, you see those are the factors that are creating more jobs. If they are creating more jobs, that means better careers related to. If you join a sector which is in these areas, you know, your opportunities would be much better than if you join in these areas. If your job is challenged because of these kind of negative growth, then you would have to be super talented in order to succeed. Of course, humans can succeed in any sector. Okay, but you would have to be super lucky and super talented in order to succeed in these sectors. Whereas if you join these sectors, even a mediocrely talented person can have a reasonably good career. Okay, that's the lesson. What skills are needed for this new generation of the jobs? Okay, you see this is the McKinsey report, last year's report. It's less than 1 year old report, which is saying what are the technologies that are being adopted by the companies. So if you join the, if you create a specialization in those technologies where the companies that are being adopted by the companies, your chances of you succeeding increase significantly. You'll get much more opportunities. So digitization is a big factor. Okay, big data analytics, education technology, Internet of Things, cloud computing, cyber security, e-commerce, AI, environment management technologies, climate change, video processing, AR, VR, energy sector, okay, robots, electric vehicles, etc. These are all bringing a lot of new jobs. These changes are being adopted by companies like anything, and hence they need experts to bring these changes and generate value for them and create their profits and markets and satisfy their customers. So if you join these kind of sectors, and you can join these kind of sectors irrespective of your background, whether it is science background or commerce background or arts background, you can benefit from this trend and prepare yourself to benefit from this trend which is going on. Okay. What kind of skills would be required? Here is a little projection. Creative thinking is going to be the most valued skill now. This is a projection for the next 5 years. Because of the challenges taking place, because of these drastic changes in the industry taking place, people will have to be innovative, people will have to be creative. Okay. And those people who can do creative thinking would be most valued. 73%, more than 73% companies say that we would want our employees to be more creative thinkers. We would want our employees to be more analytical thinkers. So creative thinking and analytical thinking and technology awareness, these are the 3 top attributes that the companies are wanting in their employees. Even somebody who joins their account section or finance section, they want them to be technologically aware, technologically literate, to use technology for whatever function they are in. Even if somebody is a manager, he or she should be able to use technology to execute their function, use AI, use big data to carry out their functions. Okay, so curiosity is very important skill that the student should have and professionals should have. That's what the companies are saying. Okay, so you see AI, big data awareness. This is a whole list of various skills that the companies and what kind, and this shows the percentage of the companies who have said that we want our employees to have expertise in these areas. So the schools, the colleges, the universities, it becomes their responsibility to groom their students with these skills, and it is the responsibility of the students to be aware of this and welcome the assignments, the practices that groom these skills in them. Very, very important. Okay, so if you get a project where you have to think of doing some innovation, you should feel lucky that this is something that is helping you to become more innovative and develop your creativity, and this is the skill that the companies will value you for. Okay, and that will help you grow in companies. Okay, so and actual learning happens by doing, not by just reading. Okay, so if you get projects, if you get assignments where you have to do something that requires creative thinking, analytical thinking, technological usage, curiosity, that's good for you. Okay, should welcome that. And in fact, in your higher education, you should be looking for such places where these skills would get further sharpened. You have some innate ability to be creative, but that needs sharpening. That needs practice. You have some innate ability and the ability that has been created through school education. All those abilities need to be further enhanced. Okay, and that's very, very important. Okay, so here is new education policy that has also been very much alert to all these changes, and it has said that the new education should prepare the students to think critically, to solve problems, to be creative and multidisciplinary. They should be able to innovate, adapt new material in novel and changing fields. Okay, new education policy has been drafted and has set the goals with respect to all these changes that I just told you are taking place in the world and in the industry. Okay, and new education policy also says that the education model for the new generation, that is you, has to be experience-based, has to be holistic, discovery-oriented, learner-centered, enjoyable, flexible. All these goals have been given by new education policy. What does that mean? The college that you choose, the university that you choose, should enable you to further refine these skills that are very, very important for 40 years of your career, 50 years of your career. You would not have a 25 years of career or 30 years of career. You would have 40, 50 years of career. Okay, so you got to prepare yourself for that. Okay, the college that you go to, the university that you go to should prepare you not for just the first job. It should also put things in you that will carry you through till your last job in your 70s. Very, very important. Okay. So how to choose a university or a college? That's a very, very important question. And all students and their parents are really struggling with this question. How to choose? So because they don't know all the parameters, what they do, they go by the trend. They go by the trend. So they don't choose. They only check, if I got this percentage of marks or this rank last year, where did the people of this rank or this percentage of marks go to? Let me go there. That is how, so it's crowd, crowd pushes them. They don't ask the right questions. So I am sharing you with a list of questions that you can ask before choosing a college or a university, okay, for whatever study you want to carry on. First thing is it a university or a college? You should know the difference. There is a huge difference in a university and a college. New education policy has come out very clearly that all affiliated colleges should either get converted into autonomous colleges or universities in the next decade or so, or should get closed. So those colleges that will not be able to upgrade themselves and become autonomous college or university, new education policy has said that they deserve to be closed. Okay. Not every college can be converted into an autonomous college or a university. It requires, because university requires more qualified faculty, it requires more resources, it requires more experienced people. Okay, the demands on the universities are more than the demands on the colleges. Okay, the university has to be much more engaged in research that the colleges are expected to be. Okay, so you should very carefully check, is it a university or a college that you would be joining? Of course, every college that you join would also be a part of a university, but you would be, if you join a college, you would be spending all your 3-4 years of study time at the college. The curriculum is designed by the university, college only follows it. The final exams are designed by the university, the college only follows it. Okay, so it is better to go for a university than to a college, but not all university is good. In fact, many colleges are much better than the universities, because those universities that do not use the true power of the university in the rightful manner actually become a spoiler of the university status. A university should create a good curriculum, appropriate curriculum suitable to the changing needs of the time. They should assess the students appropriately so that their exams are difficult, not very easy. So many universities in your region, I know some of them, ask very simple questions in the exams, and hence the students are not challenged. And when students are not challenged for 3 or 4 years of their study, their creative thinking, their analytical thinking, problem solving ability, etc., would not improve. Hence, they would not be as useful for the industry as they are. Okay, so in order to become very useful for the industry, the student should actually go to a place where they would be challenged on a daily basis. They would be required to do difficult things. If you are required to do difficult things during your university education, then there is a huge possibility that you would get habituated to do difficult things, solve complex problems, and the companies are interested in you for giving you huge packages and giving you very interesting assignments, because the companies will be solving and are solving difficult problems these days. They are solving complex problems. Nobody is paying them for solving simple problems. And they don't want employees who can solve only simple problems. So in order to prepare yourself for solving complex and difficult problems, you better start solving complex and difficult problems now onwards itself. Okay, so next 3-4 years, you should go to a place where you face difficult questions in your exams and in your assignments. not routine questions where, what is Coulomb's law? That kind of place you should actually throw out. Don't go to such places where the question papers are rote learning based. Okay. You should go to a place where the question papers are difficult, challenging, where they have respect for your mental ability and trust in your mental ability to really solve those problems and do good job there. Okay. You should also look at how many students has the university admitted for how much land they have. So UGC has a very clear guidance on that. If a university has 10 acres of land, it should admit around 3,000 students totally, not in 1 year, total. The student population recommended by UGC, the maximum student population per acre of land is 300. So if there are universities that have around 30, 40 acres of land and have tens and thousands of students, 20,000, 30,000, you see it is so crowded. It doesn't look like a university. You don't have space. Okay. So don't go to such places where you do not have space to move around in a comfortable and easy manner. Where you are, so you must have enough space, not more than 300 students per acre of land. Lesser, the better. Where the land available per student should be a factor, because you got to live your 3-4 years of life in that campus every day, 5 days a week or 6 days a week. So you should have enough space there. Okay. How many students per section? Very, very important. Should not be more than 50, 60 in a section. Lesser, the better, because then the class quality would improve. Okay. Faculty-student ratio, very, very important. So UGC recommends that the faculty-student ratio should be actually, at the worst case, at most 20 students per faculty. Lesser, the better. Okay. So if there are universities or colleges where the student-faculty ratio is like 30:1 or even worse, then the attention that you are going to get from the faculty is going to be limited. They will not be able to pay attention to you, and hence will not be able to support your efforts or guide your efforts to become suitable for the changing needs of the industry. How many classrooms do they have per section? There are universities, I'm aware, I will not name, where they don't call every student every day in the week. They say some sections will come on these days and some other sections will come on those days, because they don't have enough classrooms for every section. They don't have a classroom for every section. So they share a classroom between 2 sections or even 3, that some days some section occupies it, some other days some other section occupies it, and students don't have to come to the university for 3 days or 4 days of the week. Only 3 days of the week students go. Do not go to such places. This is going to be disastrous if you go to such places. You are not going to get peer support, because not only the teachers, you also need to interact with teachers. So if you're not going to the university, then where would that interaction take place? How would you do joint projects with other students? How would you debate with them? How would you improve your communication skill, your creative thinking, your analytical skills if you do not have enough space in the classroom as well as outside the class? Okay. You should look at faculty quality. What is the education they have? Are they all PhDs? Are most of them PhDs? And from where are they? Have they studied at India's best places, if not abroad? Have they studied? How many of them have studied at IITs? How many of them have studied at BITS Pilani? How many of them have studied at Delhi University? How many have studied at JNU? These are the top places of the country. Okay, at NITs, at IIITs. How many of them have studied at such kind of places? What percentage of the faculty come from an educational background from such places? And how much is their experience? Where have they taught? What are their students doing? Okay, are their students working in some top companies of the world, or they are not? Okay, what are the placement opportunities that are available to the students? Okay, look at that. What is the range of the placement opportunities that become available to the students? What is the experience of the leadership? The vice chancellor, the dean, the other members of the leadership. What is the quality of their experience? How is the university aligned with the new education policy directives? Is it giving multidisciplinary exposure? Is it giving interdisciplinary exposure? Is it giving flexibility to choose courses? Is it giving flexibility to choose minors? Is it giving skill building courses even to the arts student? Is it engaging them into building something? Okay. Is the education outcome based? Is the focus on problem solving, road learning? Very, very important. Is the assessment method focusing on problem solving or rote learning? Is there a focus on student projects and activities and field work, or there is not much focus there? Is there a focus on internships and exchange programs? How is the campus infrastructure? Do you have enough space? Do you have enough facilities? Is it a polluted place or it is not polluted? Because if it is polluted, you would be sick for many days, or your quality of health would be poor on many days, especially in NCR. Better to move out where it is not polluted. Okay. What is the quality of extracurricular, co-curricular activities? Because if you spend your time, because 3-4 months in an NCR is like hell. We have all seen that. And you are coughing, and when your health is deteriorated, at that time, how much time can you spend on doing your studies and working on your projects? Okay, very, very important parameters. So all these parameters, I would, my dear students, advise you to look at before finalizing where you would say. So your parents will give fee, that's fine. In India, parents give fee, that's perfectly fine. As parents, we are happy doing that. Okay, but you will be giving your years. That's more important. So is the place really worthy of giving your years there? Will it, if it is poor on many of these parameters, it is not the place where you should go to. But if it is good on many of these parameters, you may have to cut some corner, you may have to compromise on some issues, that's fine. But if you are compromising on most, then you should not go. But if your compromises are very insignificant, it's okay. Okay, so choose very wisely where you want to spend your next 3 or 4 years, because that is going to be really very important for your career. Okay, can Jaypee University Anoopshahr come in this role in some way? Just have 2-3 slides about our university. These are all the programs that we run at our university. Our university is around 100 kilometers from Noida. It just takes 2 hours drive. Okay, and my own house is in Noida, so we keep shuffling, and many of your principals and teachers have visited our campus. I have also visited your campus. So we have BTech in CSE and robotics. When universities are offering a BTech program in robotics, and I know many youngsters are very excited about robotics. So we are offering a BTech in robotics. Our CSE students can specialize in AI, ML, data science, data analytics, and IoT. And our BCA students and MCA students can also specialize in these areas of web and mobile applications and AI and ML. We have diploma, but that's not related to you, so I'll not talk about it. We have BBA and MBA. BBA is important for you. So our BBA is like very tech-centric. We prepare our management students in order to use tools of data scientists, in order to use data analytics. So they manage with using technology. They learn to manage with technological tools. We have BSc programs in physics, mathematics, and zoology, botany, and chemistry, which is an integrated program of the 3 disciplines. And these have, you can interact with us later and learn about how are our programs different from other programs of this similar nature. We are bringing new technology, new developments, interdisciplinary in all our programs. We have BCom, we have BA, and all these 3-year programs, which is BCA, BBA, BSc, BCom, BA, also come with this 4-year option as per new education policy, where you can do an honors or an honors with research option. And as per new education policy, we also offer optional minors. So you can, while pursuing let's say BTech CSC, you could do a minor in sustainability studies. While pursuing BSc Physics, you could do a minor in AI, business, and society. So you could mix your major with a minor, and these are the 4 interdisciplinary minors that you have created. Okay. So so these programs, and these are our core strengths as a university. We are part of the Jaypee higher education system. 4 universities by the Jaypee higher education system. You are also part of the Jaypee education system. So you know the quality, the benchmarks, etc. And okay, so the Jaypee universities have very deep experience. For the last 20 years, our graduates from different universities have been joining best of the companies world over. You go to Amazon, you go to Google, you go to Intel, you go to DreamWorks, you go to any company in the world, and you would find some Jaypee student there who has graduated from one of the Jaypee universities. So very deep experience in preparing students for the global corporate career. And we have shared resources across universities. A supercomputer has been installed just next to your own campus, which is accessible to the students of all 4 universities, including at Anoopshahr. In Sector 128, next to your building is JIT campus, where within that there is a supercomputing facility has been created for all universities. That will be available to you also. The student activities are same across all universities through a Jaypee Youth Club, and similar kind of clubs and hubs have been created, and they engage in similar kind of student activities. Placements of all Jaypee universities are common. The placement head is one Brigadier Dawa, and just yesterday he was here, and so they organize the placements for the students of all 4 universities. So when a company comes, it doesn't just come for JIT Noida. The job descriptions are shared with the students of the graduating students of all the 4 universities. And very recently, the Jaypee University Anoopshahr's BBA students got fantastic placements. And now that the final year of the BTech is not there at Jaypee University Anoopshahr, only 3rd year. So next year they will be approaching final year. But even in their 6th semester, very interesting job opportunities have already been announced, and the students will be applying and possibly will get selected in those job opportunities. Faculty quality is excellent. 80% of our faculty are PhDs. 65% of them come from some education background at IIT or some work experience at IITs, ISI, Indian Statistical Institute, NIT, Delhi University, Central University, etc. Our faculty-student ratio is tremendous. Because we are a small university at this point, our faculty-student ratio is tremendous. It is 13:1. That means every student, every interested student who is keen to learn can get good time from faculty outside the class also to discuss projects, to discuss ideas, to seek guidance. Okay, and you also have access to the recorded videos by the JIT faculty that is being recorded, and those lectures for the BTech students and for BCA students will also be made available here also. And that's in addition to what our faculty is. That's a supplementary resource. Okay, we focus on learning by doing, problem solving, and projects. Our exams are challenging, really challenging. Okay, we would ask you to solve difficult problems in the exam, because we believe that if you develop the practice of solving difficult questions in exams, you would be automatically ready for solving difficult problems in your career, and companies would welcome you. We encourage internships, we facilitate internships. Our curriculum is very much NEP compliant. It is multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. Even our BA students are taken to mechanical workshop and they make things, because mechanical art is also an art. Okay, they have also this option of studying a little bit of electronics. Everybody has to study computer science, whether you are a commerce student or BA student. Everybody has to study a little bit of programming. Everybody has to acquire IT skills in our university. Okay, everybody also has to study humanities. Engineering students also have to study a little bit of humanities. Everybody has to study a little bit of commerce and management. So a little bit of everything, everybody has to study, and then they have to specialize in their own area. That's multidisciplinary nature. A science student doesn't just study science. He has to study, or she has to study technology as well as humanities and social sciences. Okay, we give this option of optional minor, and there are courses on ability enhancement, value-added courses, skill enhancement, and our campus. Those of your teachers who have visited, it's beautiful. Please look at YouTube to find how beautiful the campus is. It's pollution-free, around 100 acres of land, just next to Ganges. You can actually walk to the Ganges bank from your hostel, and it is very green and no pollution, and just 2 hours drive from your home in Noida. Okay, that's our campus. And so those of you who want to look at our updates, look at our official Facebook. That's our JUA official FB is our official Facebook, and Instagram, JU official Insta, and our website is also given. And these are the phone numbers. You can reach out to our admission team. Those of you who are interested to know more about our programs. And our fee are much lower than our Noida University, because this place happens to be the hometown of respected Gaur Saab, respected Jayaprakash Gaurji. So he has kind of created this as a hugely philanthropic activity, completely philanthropic activity, where 90% of our expenditures are actually not coming from the fee. They are coming from the donations by the group. And that is going to be the case for quite some time now. And hence the fee have been deliberately kept very, very low. It is 1/3 or 1/4 of our Noida fee for the respective program. Our hostel is also very low cost. And these are our telephone numbers for the admission cell, those of you who are interested. And this is me once again, my email, my blog, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, my Facebook. Those of you who want to connect for any question later, or whether you join us or not, doesn't matter. You are students of Jaypee Group and you have right to seek our guidance anytime in your life. Whenever you have a question related to your career, you can really approach me also, in addition to your teachers. If there are any questions, I would be glad to answer them. Are there any questions?
My dear students, you can ask any of the doubts if you have. Azka?
And it need not be about our university. The doubts related to your career, you may be planning to join whatever. My best wishes. May God bless you. You are our students. Anjali ji and I are keen interested that all of you make great career. So any question, we have some experience, some decades of experience in life, and any educating students. You have any query, please ask. Yes, Ojasvi, you have a question. You have raised your hand.
Good afternoon, sir. My question.
Please show your face also.
Just open your camera, beta.
Doesn't matter if you have not taken your bath. It's okay.
Just give me a minute, sir.
Before the result, who wants to take bath? It's okay.
Yeah, am I visible?
You are not visible, but you are audible. Yes, you are visible now. It's okay. Perfectly fine.
So my question is related to something you had mentioned earlier in the presentation about the population decline, right? So we are like kind of seeing the current situation in Greece as well, with the population collapse ongoing. So that is just for Greece, right? But we can see that happening 20-30 years in the future with other countries as well. So that is negatively going to impact the economies and the growth that the AI has forecasted. So how exactly it is possible to counter that? Because that's not something which we can do right now, right?
See, this negative population growth is a feature which is being experienced only by very few countries at this moment. The number of such countries is going to increase in the next decade or 2 decades, because more the youngsters' habits are changing. They are marrying late. They don't want kids, and a lot of things are happening in developed economies. Okay, but the population increase will take place in Africa, Asia. Africa and Asia will contribute in this century 80% of the world population. Okay, that and the average age, because of the good medical facilities, would increase. So because of that also the population will increase. People will not die at the age of 60. People will die at the age of 90, 80. That also will increase the population. Okay, so the role the AI and the robotics and any consumer good manufacturer would have is to create goods for the population that they serve. So overall world population is expected to grow by all studies in the next 80 years. In this century, the population will continue to grow if things continue to happen the way they are happening. If there is a huge, worse pandemic than COVID, those are different issues. Okay, but if continue to happen, and we know now we can beat COVID also. Our medicine industry has mastered the art of creating COVID vaccines, etc. So population will continue to increase. Those countries which will have negative growth would have to import manpower from places like India, and which is the opportunity for you guys. Go on dollars and pounds and euros, whatever. That's the opportunity for our younger generation. Okay, those who can be, so aim to be global citizens. You do not have to think of your career within the boundary of the India. Look at, that is why in my slide I am not showing you an Indian perspective. I am showing you a global perspective, because I would love the student of Jaypee education system to have a global perspective of life. Be global citizens. This country, that country, in Sanskrit, there used to be a slok, I forget that. Something like Kim Videsham Gyani, something like that. That means for educated person, what is foreign? No land is foreign to an educated person. To a skilled person, no land is foreign. Because he's skilled, his knowledge is valued at any place. Okay. So does that answer your question, or you still have some doubt?
I do still have something. So, like you said, that there would be more globalization, there would be more development, right? But that will only be in countries that are seeing current development. And that development, like the growth in population, will also require more urbanization. That's true, right? More facilities, more healthcare, that would be required. But for the new developed countries, the current developing countries, we must know that there will be repercussions as well, because there is a negative correlation as well with that, right? So you have
negative correlation between what and what?
Between like the increase in population, and we are increasing the facilities as well, because once you see that we are increasing the load on our planet, we don't have, it's not, if we don't do that sustainably, then that will cause some serious problems.
Correct.
And that exactly can't be controlled at the same pace as the growth. That will take some time, because global warming and climate change is not an issue that can be addressed within 80 to 100 years. That will take a lot of time. So how exactly, like there will be negative impacts, that's for sure, and that will only be seen by the low income countries, and we can't do anything to prevent that. So
you see that technology is the reason for the problem, and technology is also the solution to the problem. So old technology created pollution. Okay, because engineers of yesterday did not bother about pollution. If you look at the movies of the 50s and the 60s, in order to show progress, they used to show smoke in the sky coming out of a chimney. The black and white era, the Dharmendra era movies and the Manoj Kumar era movies, you would see that. Okay, no more so. The engineers of today have been told, the companies are alert that whatever industrial activity they engage in has to be following the sustainability practice. That is why the jobs in the slide, one of the slide, if you see this slide, this slide, this slide, not this one. If you look at this slide, the government is forcing the industry to follow environmental, social, and government standards. That is the biggest change in the job market, because companies have to hire more experts in an environment-friendly manner. The technologies have to be changed in the factories. The smoke in the sky is no more welcome. So huge change is going to take place, and that's an opportunity for the youngsters to create environment technologies that will take care of the. So let's not undervalue the human potential. Once humans are aware of a problem, they have immense potential to come out of the solution collectively. So now that humanity is aware of the problem, that global warming is an issue, and the cause of this is the industrial activity, the industries have also accepted this as a response. The banks give them easier loans. You might be aware. The interest rate on a environment-friendly company is lower than the interest rate of other company. So there is an incentive by the government. The governments will give tax relaxation, or even the rules, like India would not allow the fossil fuel car after 2030. So industrial activity will have to change because of the government regulations. Okay, and government regulation, public pressure also. A lot of public is now willing to pay a little extra for an environment-friendly good. In your generation especially. My generation people will possibly not do that, but your generation is more sensitive to those kind of issues. Will not buy from a company that is exploiting people. You do a bad press of a company that this company is doing the exploitation of the manpower or the child labor. I am sure many of your generation people will stop buying goods from that company. Right or wrong?
Absolutely.
So public pressure and government regulation together is forcing companies to adopt good practices. And once this has been taken as a problem, human creativity has immense potential. We created pyramids We created Taj Mahal. We have gone to moon. We have gone to other. We can do whatever we decide to. As a collective force, our brain is really very, very powerful, and collectively we can solve very, very complex problems. So don't say that there will be surely a negative problem. If all companies decide and your generation decides that we will adopt environment friendly practices while also creating wealth, we'll create environment friendly wealth. That will happen. And that is now the trend. All companies have taken a vow that we will, all big companies have taken a vow that we will not create problems for the environment. And countries have started moving towards that. So these are climate change is really bringing a lot of job change. So engineers who are, able to create environment friendly energy would be in great demand. Engineers who can create algorithms that will not waste too much of computing time would be in demand, because computing time requires energy, and energy is produced by bad means. So like smart people who create sustainable technologies would be in great demand. Does that answer your question, Ojaswi?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
So your question was good. Thank you for that. Your name is justified in your question.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? I would love to have some few more bright questions. Azka. Yes, Azka. Please show your face. Can you show your face, please? And tell me the meaning of your name. I have not heard this word before. Please tell me the meaning of your name.
Hello, sir. Sir, it means pure and pious.
Very good. Very good. Very nice. Yeah, ask your question.
Thank you, sir. So my question is that how a PCB student can be beneficial from the program which you are offering?
ZBC, BSc, ZBC, you can do BBA, you can do BCA, you can do BCom, no, not BCom, you can do 3 programs you can register in. You can plan BBA, you can plan BCA, and you can plan BSc ZBC, which is zoology, botany, which is like BSc Life Science in Delhi University. So our BSc ZBC is very interdisciplinary. It has courses like genetic engineering, it has courses like biotechnology, microbiology, those kind of courses. So we don't teach a botany course like a botany course. We don't teach a zoology course like a zoology course. We integrate it. So in a course on microbiology, we will teach the microbiology from the botany side as well as the microbiology from the zoology side. Okay, so we have a fantastic team of faculty in the BSc ZBC program. One of them is from IIT BHU. She did her PhD in biotechnology from IIT BHU. One of them is did a PhD in botany biotechnology at Delhi University. One did a PhD in zoology at Aligarh Muslim University, which is also a fantastic university, central university. And one did his postdoctoral from IIT Kanpur in chemistry. So we have fantastic faculty and very able faculty to really, and our lot of companies come to Jaypee universities for recruiting biotechnology and life science graduates. Last year around 55 companies visited us. So even after BSc, ZBC, you would have opportunities for good joining companies. But as a parent, as a teacher, my recommendation would be to go for higher studies, and maybe go for even research for creating great career, because biotechnology and industry is like booming. Vaccination industry is booming, pharmacy industry is booming. So with ZBC background, if you do these courses like genetic engineering, microbiology, biotechnology, etc., sky is the limit. Sky is the limit for you for future career. Yeah.
All right, sir.
Yeah. Any other question? Ask me 2 more at least. Yes, Dhrumil Parekh. Please open your window, your video, please. Dhrumil Parekh, you raised your hand and then you have disappeared.
Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you?
Dhrumil.
Hi, sir. I just wanted to ask you one thing, since we know that, engineering has been a rat race now. All the PCM students.
Can you speak louder? Can you speak louder? I'm not able to hear you very clear.
1 second, sir. I'll just turn my camera for that. Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, little better.
I'm saying that as we know that all the engineering students, specifically PCM students, opt for engineering, and engineering is a rat race nowadays. So, are there any alternative career options or alternative degree
Engineering
options
will
for
never be in
engineering?
a bad taste. That's a myth. That's a myth. Bad engineering would always be in a bad shape, but good engineering would all the whole industrial activity. A lot of it is actually run by the engineers. Good engineers are the people who drive the civilization's growth. Okay, it is because there are so many engineering colleges and so many universities offering engineering degrees, and they don't do it properly. They don't have the faculty resource, they don't have the laboratory resource, they don't have the classroom, and they produce a lot of engineers who are not really good engineers, and hence they create a bad image for engineers. Okay, none of our students have that problem. We would Jaypee University students, 85% of them get placement, good placement. Okay, and if those who are not getting placed, their problem is not technology, their problem is their communication skill is not very good. I'm sure all the students of Jaypee group have excellent communication skills. Okay, already. Okay, so please do not believe this, that the engineering is in a bad shape. Engineering is not. Who is going to build those 2 billion houses that are required in this century? Who is going to create those machines for the agriculture field that will produce double the food? Who would create all the goods that are required? Who will create who will the revolution evergreen, evergreen? As long as humans, see, let me tell you, humans live in this body of Panchatattva, they would need engineers. If they become souls, they don't need engineers. Engineers are the main drivers for creating goods and services. So don't believe that propaganda. It is bad engineers who are facing that problem, not even mediocre engineers are facing that problem. Okay, and some of you, if you have any problem, if you want a detailed discussion, maybe madam can arrange a separate session for you one-to-one, or I will welcome you to come down to our Anoopshahr. Maybe I visit your school and have a separate session. We are both interested in making great career. Ashi, please ask a question. Put on your video. Yeah. Yes, you are.
From a science background, specifically mathematics, I pursue engineering in computer science. So we in Jaypee group, we have many opportunities like Jaypee, Wagner, and Solon. Then there's in 2 universities, and there's this in Guna as well, and here's here in Share. So, sir, what more opportunities and benefits can we get if we get admission in the Anoopshahr University for computer science?
Compare with my brother universities?
No, sir, but like
universities. I was the head of computer science and IT department at JIT from 2002 to 2018. JIT was established in 2001. I joined it in 2002 and served as the head of the department of computer science and IT for senior to put on a different group, and then I was called back to lead this university at Anoopshahr. You can imagine why all that may have happened. So we would create magic. We are in the we created magic at the magic team. Okay, there are advantages. There is no pollution, first of all. You know, Noida is like choke. You know, I cough when I go to Noida, especially from October to February. It's so bad. Okay. So there is no 2 hours drive from your home in Noida. Do you live in?
134. It's near 1.
So less than 2 hour drive. You can if you drive in the morning or in the evening. I have come from sector 48 to this place within 1 hour 45 minutes. You know, there have just taken that much. So it's no pollution, same placement opportunities, and very, very low fee. For example, the BTech at our Noida campus is like nearly close to little less than 4 lakh per annum. The fee here of the BTech is just 1.5 or so per annum. Okay, so the fee is very low, and all JBM schools and all the JP school students get 10% fee concession. Okay, that is also there. And if you have good percentage, there is scholarship based on the percentage also. So there are pollution-free environment and opportunities same and very fee. That's the comparison I would make.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Okay, if there are no questions, let's say we can ask them later. You can note my address, and then we can reconnect question. And it need not be about our university or JP education. Even if you have a problem with something in some other university, you can ask me. You know, treat me as your teacher. No, we same family and in our faculty member of it was called the technology. I told you about the teachers. Say something.
Thank you, sir.
You want to add something?
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Your each and every word is valuable to us and for our student also. I must say, today we have a valuable session with you, and many of our students have a doubt that where they will go for the robotics. I think now even we are aware of that branch is there available with JP, and we very much look forward to for this. And the plus point of the conversation is this, that we came to know that you are moving with the new NEP policies, okay, because you are collaborating various skill courses along with the mainstream course. And my dear student, I must say that this is going to be the futuristic study. You should you should find the courses valuable for your future also. And as sir says, this is not for a 25-30 years job. You have to plan for your whole life. The career you are pursuing, that should go with not only along the job time, that up to the age of 60. You should be able to innovate the things in a way that will run even after your prescribed job timings, okay. And I must say, thank you so much, sir, for your blessings and the words for us and our student. And we look forward to be in contact with you. Thank you so much, sir.
I request you to please share that digital copy of the pamphlet with the students. They would have some ready information with them. And
Yeah, sure, sir.
maybe the recording
Yes, sure.
of this can also be shared with the students if they want to. Those who have missed, they can also enjoy.
Yes, sir, surely, because we already got the request in between the session that ma'am, will this recording will be shared with us. So
Also
we
share
got
it
it
with
and we'll
me. Also
definitely.
share it with me also. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks on my behalf also. It's good that Dimple ma'am has already extended that thanks, and the meaningful discussion which was happening between you and students was, I think, something valuable for us because Manika ji was here, so I was on the round of the new building in between for some time. So good that the session has been recorded. So, my dear students, I think you must grab the opportunity because connection with sir means a lot. And I personally have realized, so he will be surely a great guide for you because students at your age have lot many questions and lot many dilemmas, ambiguities, and with such a clear vision, I think he can be a great mentor. So, thanks a lot, sir, and we heartily acknowledge your presence. We will look forward to future sessions also related to faculty development programs and some internships for our existing students. I'll be in touch, sir. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Everyone, you can left now. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, may I end the meeting?
Yes, you may end.
Thank you.